Hide myself the screen there. Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to Mini-Masterclass Mondays. I am Marla Renee Stewart, here 3-time award-winning sexologist, sexual strategist, and business coach to help you with your amazing adult brand or business, something to help you move forward. And before we get to the mini masterclass, which we'll be talking about clients' needs, I just want to quickly talk about what's happening in June. First of all, happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. One of my favorite months of the year, June, besides my birthday month, May. One thing I did want to say is that we are, Eve and I of the Please Me podcast are doing a pop-up in West Palm Beach called Pleasure Me. It's fantastic. Everything from healing services to naked yoga, to massage, to boudoir photography, and to, of course, education. We're also going to have some intensives. So I'm super excited about this little pop-up thing. We have it for a month, so hopefully y'all can come out and come and see us. Tonight we will be doing naked yoga. So come on through if you are in or near Florida, around West Palm Beach. We would love to have you. Okay. So really quick, we want to think about how to figure out what your client really needs, right? One of the most important things I think it's important to think about is where you are going in your business, right? So a lot of times people are trying to figure out, like, should I do education, or should I make products, or should I do this or that? The thing is, you really want to show up where your client is needing you. And what I found is that surveys are really great for me. So, but here's the thing, when you deeply understand like your client's needs, you can create those services, you can create the content, and you can create the experiences that leave them feeling seen, satisfied, and supported, right? But your clients aren't going to always tell you what they need, right? So it's super important, and they're not going to tell you, at least directly, right? It's one of those things that you kind of got to fish for, and that's where the work begins, right? So there's 4 really effective strategies to kind of dig into your client's needs, right? One is to start with direct communication, okay? If you want to know what your client wants, just ask. Periodically throughout the year, usually at the beginning of the year, I say, hey, y'all, what do you want to hear more from me? How can I help you this year, right? You want to ask them. You open up those lines of communication, and that helps you tap into any kind of unmet needs and desires straight from the source. So last year, I got needs around menopause, perimenopause, ED kind of stuff, right? Kink stuff, lots more kink stuff. And I was like, okay, great. So I formulated more workshops from there. So it was really great to kind of, it was really, really great to have, now I have a robust more workshops, right, to do that. So surveys, feedback forms, any kinds of those things, like any kind of feedback forms, any from your classes, all of those things. If you do classes, those are going to be helpful. You could send surveys after they purchase something from you or after a service delivery. And you can use something really easy like Google Forms or Typeform with, open-ended questions that invite more detail, right? The people who care want to have like your services, they're going to communicate about their needs, because guess what? They're still following you for a reason. Excuse me. Let's take a quick thing of water here. You also can do client interviews, right? This is just really a 15-minute conversation, which can just help you with insight about their experiences with you, their frustrations, maybe any kind of unmet needs that are happening. You can also do focus groups. You can get a small group of ideal clients together and facilitate a guided discussion about your service, brand, or content, right? And that really helps, because sometimes other people can foster different ideas for you. And again, that can be helpful for a variety of reasons. There's also casual conversations, right? So whether it's in the DMs or your coffee chats, don't underestimate the power of off the cuff comments, right? You come across somebody randomly, talk about the business, talk about what they need, right? They're often really the most honest. So, you can ask questions like, what's one thing you wish someone would offer in this industry? Or what's been your biggest frustration with past services like mine, right? Those kinds of questions are going to help you dig a little deeper into what you need. Second thing is to observe and analyze client behavior, right? A lot of times actions are going to speak louder than words. So sometimes your clients will show you what they need based on how they interact with your offers. So you can do customer behavior tracking, right? You can use analytics tools to track their user behavior. What pages are they clicking on? How long they stay? What content gets skipped or ignored? Or what kind of content even, oh, my food is ready. What kind of content is even like out there, right? So that's one thing to, think about, analytics, how many times they purchased from you, things like that. You can also do some client journey mapping, sketching out the steps client take from they discover you, do they, maybe they click on my shadow band survival guide, right? And then what did they do? Did they take the class, or do they, come to some live classes? What did they do? Where did they get stuck? Where do they seem the most excited? And then social media listening. So reading between the lines, monitoring comment sections, tag posts, community threads to discover trends, complaints, and compliments, right? You shouldn't just watch what your clients like, watch what they actually linger on. What do they take their time on? Okay. And you can do this with the back end of your website, right? You can see like, how long do they spend on each page of this website? What pages are they spending the most time at? You can also number 3, dig into market research and industry analysis, right? You can do a competitor analysis, right? What are others in your space doing well? Where are they falling short, right? You can do some trend tracking, staying up to date with consumer behavior trends in your industry. Are clients shifting toward more accessible pricing? Are they demanding more customization? What's happening, right? And then client demographics and psychographics, right? Going beyond just age, income. What are your clients' values? What are their desires? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What is going on with them? Okay. And you can do this by setting up Google alerts or subscribe to relevant newsletters to stay informed without burning out. Your really great way is just to have a feed, just have a constant feed of like, hey, reading up to date on what's happening. Number 4 is the last thing, fine tune, test, and repeat. Okay. So once you've gathered all the data, just don't stop there. Implementation without refinement is going to be a missed opportunity. So you want to adjust and evolve. So you can do some A/B testing, right? Trying 2 versions of a product, email or service, see what performs better. What performs better, A or B, right? You can do iterative improvement, which is build in regular check-ins, monthly, quarterly, or after every launch to assess what's working out, what's not. And then also creating feedback loops. Let your clients know their feedback made a difference, right? This encourages them to keep sharing and keeps your services aligned with their particular goals. So if you think about it, fine tuning is really just like relationship maintenance, right? This is like if you were in a regular, relationship with someone, what are the check-ins? How are you maintaining them, right? You wouldn't ghost a partner, so don't ghost your clients' evolving, needs either, okay? So understand your clients are constantly growing, they're constantly evolving, they're constantly changing, and your job is to grow alongside them, right? I'm going through perimenopause. Guess what? That means they might be going through perimenopause as well, right? And that's why it's important to make that refinement. So when you combine honest conversations, data-driven insights, market intelligence, and consistent refinement, you're going to create a business that doesn't just serve your clients, but actually delights the clients, okay? So investing time and intention into discovering what your clients really need, you'll always be a few steps ahead. And that's where the magic and hopefully, the money also happens, okay? So that's it. All I have for today, y'all, for the mini masterclass. Cheers to your wonderful sexual success. professional sexual success. And I will see y'all soon. Of course, you can always apply to my program. It's just successful.biz. That's SDXCESSFUL.biz. And of course, get your free shadow ban survival guide. You don't want to be kicked off of social media. I have so many friends that have had that issue. Please don't have that issue. Okay. That's what I would appreciate. You can always submit your questions to me in my DMs. I'm happy to DM you about that. Or I'm sorry, answer it live. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much. Happy Monday. Happy June. Happy Pride Month. If you are in West Palm Beach, come and see me. I would love to see y'all. And that's it for today. All right. Bye, y'all.